thrive. Hey! Meditate, pray a while, study, serve, and time. Thank you, God, for awakening ways. My spirit's now alive. Every morning I awake, so happy to be alive. God is everywhere I am, and spirit so alive. Sunshine makes me smile. Everyone's my friend. I help someone less fortunate. I'm giving him a 10. Oh, meditate, pray a while, study, serve, and time. Oh, what fun it is to be with community. I thrive. Hey, meditate, pray a while, study, serve, and time. Thank you, God, for awakening ways. My spirit's now alive.
Right. You'll never hear jingle bells the same way again. Friends, while you're on your feet, please turn and offer the namaste greeting to one another. Namaste, namaste to our wonderful musicians, beloveds, thank you. Namaste, Jimmy. Namaste to Joy and Brian in the back, our amazing tech team. Namaste, Zoomers. Thank you for being here. We love you. There I am. Hi. Yeah, there I am. Here we are. Everything is awesome. Good morning, beloveds. Wow. If you'll also please take a moment to silence your cell phones. If you haven't already done so, that would be fabulous. Thank you. And it is my joy to welcome you to the Awakening Way Spiritual Community. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I'm the spiritual director and senior minister here. And it is so great to see you here this morning. Welcome to the Awakening Way Spiritual Community, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of awakening to the loving heart, the inspired mind, and the sacred soul present in every life. We are an independent New Thought community, and we follow the teachings of Ernest Holmes. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. So we have an affirmation for today, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I am grateful for my spiritual community.
I am grateful for my spiritual community.
This is my spiritual home.
This is my spiritual home.
I am safe.
I am safe.
I am loved.
I am loved.
I belong.
I belong.
And so it is.
So it is.
All right, and now we have our practitioner of the day, who's also a ministerial student, and it also happens to be his birthday today. Delon, when he comes up here, we can sing to him. But he's going to offer us our opening prayer and Science of Mind reading. Thank you, Delon. Thank you for being here on your birthday. Yeah. Can we sing? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday, dear Delon. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, you guys. That was awesome. Well, I'm happy to be here. And first thing I want to say is that if anyone would like prayer work this morning, there's something up that you would like to get help with, I will be available in the lobby right after the service. Please come and see me. I would love to pray with you for just a few minutes. We also offer prayer there's 14 ministers and practitioners that will pray for you all week. If you put your prayer on the paper there, you can fill out a prayer request form and put it in the box, and we'd be happy to pray for you all week. That's a very powerful thing. You can also email us, Zoomers. You can email us at info@awakeningways.org. And if there's something that you would like more help with, to go a deeper dive, we all of the practitioners and ministers offer spiritual counseling. So just pick up a card or see us, and we'd be happy to help you with that. So now that that's out of the way, why don't we settle into our chairs and just close your eyes if you would. And there's nothing you need to really think about right this minute. We'll just take a moment to absorb these words from Ernest Holmes. He says, "Sit in quiet repose and tell Spirit how wonderful Spirit is, and how glad you are, how grateful. It is at times like these that we are really tuning in to the divine, and the divine will always respond to us." This morning, this service, this day itself is the divine responding to us. We're here. We're awake and alive. And we just know that we're here to be moved by something in the music, in our company, in the words of Reverend Elizabeth's talk. We just know that Spirit is moving through all of this, speaking directly to us. And we just give thanks for that. We let that be so, and so it is.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see, everybody tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. You will have a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned jingle bells, jingle bell rock.
All right. Wonderful. Oh, wow. Tis the season. Tis the season, beloveds, and I also want to acknowledge that there may be some of you in the room or viewing us on Zoom who are experiencing the holiday season on your own for the first time, or some sort of transformation that you're experiencing and it's not as happy and jolly as you would like it to be. Please know that I see you and I love you, and I want you to know that you're perfect exactly as you are. And thank you for being here today. Yeah. So, wow. All right. So, just so you know, December, the theme for December is community, and the talk title today is Common Unity. And I realized I've got one Sunday to pack it all in. So last Sunday we had a guest speaker, Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer was here, and he was talking about forgiveness. And we had a wonderful workshop with him afterwards. That was fabulous. Right? Yeah. Wasn't he wonderful? And then, so today I'm here, and then next Sunday I'll be away. We have some holidays with family in the Bay Area. And then we have, that's the 18th, and we'll have Reverend Wayne Edmiston joining us and doing a talk for the first time in a while, which is fabulous. And then we have our holiday services, and so those are going to be on Wednesdays. So if you're thinking about coming to the Sunday service on Christmas, don't come. And on New Year's Day, don't come because we're not going to be here. The pavilion, it turns out, which is where we're meeting here today, is closed on those 2 days. And so instead, we're having the services the Wednesday before in the evening. So we've got Wednesday, December 21st. I'm looking at Susan to help me out. And then we've got Wednesday, December 28th. And those services will be from 7 to 8:30. And as Kristen says, it's wonderful to be here at night, and you can see the twinkling lights on the lake and and all that good stuff. So we will have our candle lighting ceremony and then our burning bowl ceremony Wednesday, December 21st, and Wednesday, December 28th. What days are we having our services? Thank you. When are we going to not be here? The 25th and the 1st. Yes, you got it. All right. You guys pass. So today is all about community. And so thank you all for being here. You are the community. We are Awakening Ways, or we are awe. I love that. And so I wouldn't be here if not for you, and you wouldn't be here if not for each other and for the board and for the founders, and everything that has brought us up to this moment has allowed us to be here together. And that is so cool, right? It's so awesome. It's so awesome that we woke up this morning, each one of us, and we were called to be here. Whether we were called to be here because there's an expectation, like you have a job to do, or you're volunteering. By the way, there's a lot of people in our musical ensemble who are volunteers. Can we give some love to the choir angels and all of you? Thank you. And then there are some who are donating their time. There's one person in particular that I'm thinking of who is on the drum. What's that thing called, a djembe? Djembe. He's sitting in the back. Thank you, Ron. Let's give him some love. Comes every Sunday and is back there doing his thing. And so what a beautiful gift, right? And so many others. Joy is back here handling the camera and doing what she can to make it work, and she's wonderful. Thank you, Joy. Yeah. And so many others who I haven't named. Please know that I love and appreciate you too. Oh my gosh, Jim. I just looked at Jim. Jim. So Jim is here every Sunday at 8:30, except when he's not. But most of the time, he's here on Sunday before any of us are here, and he is here setting up everything, right? All of the sound equipment and getting the sign out and getting assistance with that. And we don't know because we get here and he's already sitting down, right? Let's give him some love. Thank you for that. and Kathy Dowling, who is also here in the mornings before we get here, setting everything up in the front and setting up the tables and assisting Susan. Thank you, Kathy. I mean, if you are someone who volunteers regularly, please stand up so we can just give you all some love and recognize you. Dixie, come on, stand. Thank you. Woo! Practitioners and, everyone. Wow. It takes a village, right? It takes a village. And so I couldn't do all of this stuff that we do. So many of us have an important job that we are doing that helps create this service, that helps create community, right? We are here together having this experience of fellowship, having this experience of music and joy and all of the goodness that comes from it because of everybody. Now, Spirit has called us to be here, and we're here because we felt something, you know. I remember when I first walked into the doors of a New Thought community back in 2003. I found it by way of a 12-step program, and I was in my 30s, early 30s. I was in my 30s, can you imagine? And that was a while ago. And it was so amazing. I got to this community, someone mentioned, hey, you should check out this community, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, you know, and kind of said, yeah, that's something I'll do one day. And then the one day came and I showed up. And when I walked in, you know, observing like, oh, this is cool, okay. They've got these giant blue pews, that's interesting. And all right, and here comes a person that is like making a beeline toward me, and it turned out it was the minister, and the minister wanted to welcome me, and the first thing they said to me was, I've seen you before, or where have I seen you before? And I felt a connection in that moment. I think he said that to everybody. But so what, right? So what? I was connected. I thought, oh yeah, maybe. Maybe you saw me in a magazine or something, I don't know. No. I felt the connection is the point of that, you know? I felt that level of belonging. And so everything that he said from the pulpit was powerful for me. I felt like, this person has been following me around. How does he know? It was a relatable message. It was something that I experienced and thoughts that I had had before, yes? And so that was just so powerful for me. And then I took a foundations class, and then I had to be there every Sunday. I wanted to be with the community. I wanted to know what was going on and feel that connection. Now, when I got there, I didn't know that it was community that was missing from my life. But when I got there, I realized it, you know? Not immediately, I didn't put the pieces together, but I wanted to keep coming back. I wanted to see the familiar faces. I wanted to see and be with the people who were also wanting to be the light that they came here to be. They wanted to shine, and they wanted to create for themselves a life that they loved. And what I noticed about the minister is that he was so happy. He was happy, making jokes, and we used to make fun of him and say he was doing spiritual stand-up. But the point was, he was happy, and I wanted that happiness. I wanted that. And I figured, if I keep coming back, I'll figure out how he does it. And I did. And I'm happy. And I'm happy to be here. Now, that's not to say there aren't moments of not feeling totally happy, right? We all have those moments. But I know, because I attended this community so much, that I have the tools within me. I have what I need, and it's up to me to pull out those tools and to use them. It's up to me to dress up and show up and be in community, to have an experience of the community. Yes? Yeah, treat and move your feet is what you'll hear, or may have already heard. It's that you want to experience something, but there's something that you also need to do. There's something that we also need to do. There's an action that we are called to take. So to be a part of a community and to experience and feel that sense of belonging, we've got to take the steps into the community and be that space of love and be that space of a welcoming presence and a person that is open and available, right? Because as we do that, we draw others in, and that level of authenticity and vulnerability and safety is a real experience. Now, there is a deep longing within each one of us to belong. Would you agree with that? Yeah, but the bigger truth is that we already belong by the simple fact that we are here. And so the fact that we are here, we belong. And we begin to create and anchor that sense of belonging by the way that we show up and when we show up, if we show up, right? That was another thing from the 12-step programs, right? I mean, you got to come to experience it. And I think that was the beginning of me really knowing that what was missing in my life was that sense of community. Because I got in there and I felt like everything was cool. I was sharing so much and open and available, And so, wow. So last Friday, I attended a retirement party of that minister who was my first minister in a New Thought community. And it was so beautiful, and it was so powerful. And there was a dinner. It was like the retirement gala. And so there was a dinner, and I sat in the sanctuary. They had all the tables set up in the sanctuary. And as I sat in there, I contemplated how much happened for me in my life in that community. And then there were people who were kind of in a kerfuffle about the new minister, how is this going to happen? And she said this and that, and what is she thinking? And I was feeling like, oh, wow, I know that experience, right? The kerfuffle. The kerfuffle? Yeah, there's a kerfuffle. But the beauty is that the people were still there, right? And so this minister, who was such a powerful presence in the lives of so many, was moving on to his next great adventure. There was a transition occurring. And I had already been gone for so long, but I was very present to all of the gifts that this being brought into my life and the lives of people close to me, like my beloved husband and his mother, my mother-in-law. And I also got to see, there were at least 40 people that were still there when I was there, who are practitioners and friends that have been coming for years, right? And so I felt like I belonged. I still belonged there. But I was very present to this person that was moving on to his next great adventure, and how that experience may and probably was here in this community, that I never had such a grounded, anchored feeling of that, right? That's, empathy, yes? And so being in that space of not knowing, that space of wondering and maybe a little fear, just a little bit, what's going to happen, And so another thing, in this community, they used to have 2 services, and the services, they were packed, right? There were like 400 people in service on a Sunday, and it was so powerful. It was just like a concert or something, or going to some event, right? A big event. And there were so many people there, and so that was before COVID. There was momentum in building and building and building. And then after COVID, the momentum started to go down. And so they had to go back to one service, or they chose to go back to one service, right? And so then there was that sense of, again, what's happening and all of that. So all of that to say that I was a part of that community, and I still am, because it's in me, right? It can never, just like when the other ministers were here, Dr. Frank and Dr. Terry, and the community and the fellowship and the message and everything that everyone here got from them, that's always going to be within you, right? Because it's a part of you. Like every relationship, it's a part of you and it stays in you. And what a beautiful thing it is that you're still here. I'm celebrating you today. Yeah. Because for those, there are some who have moved on, right? And it's just the nature, it's the way of life, right? And so those that have moved on, we bless them, we love them, and there's a part of me that grieves for them. Whenever I hear something, it's like I light a candle for that individual or those people who are no longer here because it's sad, and that's okay. But what I realized in San Jose, there were a lot of people who weren't there. But we want to focus on the people who are here. Because we are here and we recognize that there is a vision, right? Awakening humanity to the loving heart, the inspired mind, and the sacred soul present in every life. That's a mighty vision. And so here we are together because we are connected. We have an experience of that vision. And that means when we have a connection and an attachment in a good way to a vision is something we can get behind, then we will be present regardless of who comes up and who is standing here in front of you. So I applaud you. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So if you were like me, you didn't know that you needed community and belonging until you arrived in a community and felt the sense of belonging, right? Can anyone relate to that? But it's like it turns you inside out, doesn't it? That fact just got the God bumps. Like you're turned inside out and you're raw and you feel love and you feel loved and you're kind of like, what's happening to me? Like a superhero that starts to transform, what's happening? And you feel that connection and it's so good, isn't it? Yeah, you're with me. Thank you. Yes. So I loved a couple of quotes that I wanted to share with you today, and one is a richer, greater experience of life awaits us when we enter into common unity with those around us. When we train ourselves to see the big picture, we have a greater experience of humanity. And so speaking of community, we get into communities and at first we have this feeling of being turned inside out. There's love, and I feel like I belong. And then then we have personalities. It's fun, right? Personalities and things happen, and we bump into each other a little bit. But the beauty is that when you're in a community that is safe and loving and inspired and anchored in spiritual principle, which is us, right? Then you can have room for all of it. You can have room. You make the room for the dark qualities, in other words. As you embrace the light, you're not afraid of the dark because we have each other. We're not afraid of the darkness that we may experience in our minds, is what I mean by that. Negativity, fear, whatever it is, we're not afraid of that. We have people around us that will lift us up and inspire us. And we're here together in a common unity. We may not be 100% like-minded, but we recognize what's happening here, and we like it. I think that was in Delon's prayer at some point today. We like it, and we want more of it, so we come back. Yes? And it's a beautiful gift. So it's sometimes easy to get caught up in our individual experiences without realizing that each one of us is a thread in this beautiful tapestry of community. This community that is Awakening Ways, or any of the communities to which you belong. And we have many ways that we experience community, don't we? We have our neighborhoods, we have our work life, we have our married life, our spouses and their families, and we have, what else do we have? The gym memberships, we've got kirtan circles, dances of universal peace. Name some communities that you belong to. Art communities, yeah, pickleball. What I hear? Mastermind. And then we have music, yeah. There's all sorts of different musical groups happening, right? And communities built up around that. Here in this community, we have a lot of ways to get that sense of belonging in smaller groups so that you don't kind of get lost in the larger group. You can get with the smaller groups, right? And so some of those they're called belonging groups, connection circles, and we have the Power of 8. We have the Pride and Diversity group. We have the Seeds of Awakening journal, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And we have the Abraham group. What else do we have? Hearts and Hands. Thank you. We have the choir. So I was contemplating, too, all of the many ways that we are creating community here. You know, we're creating community on Sundays. We're creating community in our classes and our workshops. And so Sundays are kind of a bigger day, and people come, and we have sort of a high-level spiritual talk, right? And then to go deeper, we get involved in classes. We get involved in workshops, and we really go deeper and get real vulnerable in those talks, and we share in a close connection, right? And it's so beautiful and so powerful. And then we have, I was thinking about how Jimmy and what he's up to and creating community with the musicians and the choir angels, and they meet and rehearse, and they have community outside of Sundays. You know, they're talking to each other and all of that good stuff. We have our Hearts and Hands community building, which is, they are the hearts and hands of our community. And Linda is currently leading that community. Thank you, Linda, for that. In case you didn't know, they're responsible for preparing our water for us and our snacks and our coffee. And if there's a potluck, they kind of organize and work with that. And they also, if someone is sick, they reach out, find out if the person needs anything. They might, drop a thermos of soup off on your doorstep. How cool is that? How awesome is that? And so much more. They send out cards and all the good stuff. There may be some things I'm missing, but thank you. And we have our soul support team, which is the healing arm of this community. The soul support team is lifting us up in prayer, and the whole community and individuals. So whatever it is in your life that you are seeking to transform or looking to have prayer for, this team is here for you, right? So there are just so many ways to experience these transformations in community. Now, one thing that has super inspired me is this Seeds of Awakening journal. So there's a team that is led by Laura DeHaven, and she's a community member, and she's been attending for quite some time. And she approached me one day after a service and shared her idea with me, and I said yes. And so I guess it took about 7 or 8 months, but she got a team together to create a journal, and it's called the Seeds of Awakening Journal. And this is the journal, and what they ended up doing is creating a journal and a card deck. How many of you love the card decks, right? I know. And so these cards are so beautiful because the artwork on the cards are by our community members. Photos or art or whatever it is. And then on the back, there may be a quote and a couple of sentences and questions for you to contemplate and then journal about. So each of the artists who were on this team created 3 cards. And by the way, we have these available for sale, but I'm so inspired by this. This is something that came into form as a result of being in community, right? How powerful, how beautiful. And so being in community allows us to pool our resources together and do things that we may not have been able to do on our own. And so if a group of people can get together to create these awesome cards and journal, what else is possible? What else is possible? So what is inspiring you, my friends? What is stirring within you? What is something that wants to be created that has been stirring either now or for some time, and the time has come for you to say yes to this call? Sometimes we hear the call and it's like, yeah, not now, maybe later. Busy. Someone's phone is beeping, by the way. So back to my experience in San Jose, which was really powerful. And I was at the gym the day of the event, and on my playlist at the gym was this awesome song that was so resonating with me. And then again, I was at the gym yesterday, and the song came on again, and I thought, that's Awakening Ways. This is what we're doing, and this is so powerful. So I wanted to share the words of this song with you, and first I'll tell you the name of the song, so you can look it up and download it if you'd like. It's called The Movers, the Shakers, and the Peacemakers, and it's by Bob Sima, and he and Shannon Plummer are the group where the light gets in, and they sing this song. And know with me that we're going to have them here one day to deliver the message and the music, and they're going to play this song, and it's going to be awesome. So it says, with our eyes wide shut in the still of the night, we sit and hold the vision. When the fears burn wild, we don't run and hide. We see a world with no division. We see with one love, one heart, one drum beating to a song that is singing us home. We dance in white light under the starlight. We are the sacred seeds of the sound of Om. We say Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. In your eyes, we see our other side, your perfectly clear reflection. There are no others. There is only one mother, and she's taking us in one direction. Love is our weapon, music our religion, peace is our power, and peace is our mission. We don't separate or dominate, we appreciate and celebrate. We say Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We can go higher, higher, higher still. We can get louder, louder, louder. Yes, we will. We feel the power in the presence. It's the all, it's the essence. And in it, we own this space. We don't get lost in thought or drown in the drama. We are the guardians of this place. We see with one love, one heart, one drum beating to a song that is singing us home. We dance in white light under the moonlight. We are the sacred seeds of the sound of Om. That's who we are, right? We say Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We can go higher, higher, higher still. We can get louder, louder, louder. Yes, we will. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the lovers and the leaders. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. Right? Thank you, Bob Simon and Shannon Plummer, and Where the Light Gets In. That song is just so resonating for me and what we're up to in this community. And now what was so powerful for me was I felt this for our community. And I also felt that with the Center for Spiritual Living San Jose community. There's only one thing happening here. We are one and the same. There's no division. Wherever I find myself, I belong to the degree that I allow myself to belong, right? Yeah. And so I'm going to invite the musicians to come up and prepare for the closing song. And while they do so, I would like to invite you to, this week, my friends, consider the different communities to which you belong. Now, you belong here, you belong to the Awakening Ways spiritual community. But take a little inventory. Which communities do I belong to? And see yourself, take the bird's eye view, rise above and look down at the way it's playing out and your part in it. How are you showing up? Is it the way that you want to show up? Who do you want to be? Are you being who you want to be in your life, in your communities, in your relationships? And then how might you elevate your experience to bring in new and diverse, vibrant energy wherever you find yourself? Really feeling, I am a mover, I am a shaker, I am a peacemaker, and bringing that wherever you go. That's a challenge. Do you accept that? Yes. Only one yes? Yes. Thank you. Well, ask again. Do you accept the challenge? Yes. All right. Thank you. And so, which communities do I belong to? And how am I being in that community? Is there some place in my consciousness that I'm holding back where I could be more, be all that I came here to be? I know all of us have that, There's some kind of armor that we put on, and we don't want to allow ourselves to be seen or to have to be responsible or to have to be whatever it is, right? What is that thing? Can we break through that? Because if we can, we will have an experience of a more fulfilling life, a more fulfilling experience within the communities to which we belong. And that's beautiful. So let's take a deep breath together. And join me in turning your attention inward. And as we do, we come to this place within, which is the space where I know and remember with every fiber of my being that spirit is all that there is. And as I remember this truth, I remember that this is the truth of my life. Spirit is love, spirit is joy, spirit is peace, wholeness, perfection, prosperity, all the good things I imagine and project onto this great, mighty, magnificent spirit are right within me because spirit is within me. And so I know and claim for each one of us that as we go forward from here, whatever has been hindering or blocking us from being this mighty and magnificent presence that we are is dissolved back into the nothingness from whence it came. And we are able to shine our lights in a most beautiful and magnificent way. We remember right here and right now, that there is one thing happening, and it is the divine. And that I belong because it is my birthright. It's so good to feel that sense of safety, belonging, connection, knowing that even as I maybe trip or stumble, that I have my beloved community right here beside me to help me back up. So beautiful. And so I'm grateful in this moment for everything that has come before this day. I'm grateful for the founders of this community. I'm grateful for all of the love and the energy and the time and the presence that they put into this community. And I'm grateful for every single individual here who continues to show up because of the vision that Spirit provided to this community by way of Dr. Frank and Dr. Terry. Because I know that it is that vision that continues to have us live and strive to be all that we came here to be. And so in our connection to that vision, this community continues on. And it is powerful. And so every interaction that we have this week, we recognize the people in our communities. And we realize that we have this power within us to shine our radiant and vibrant selves and actually to transform environments that we find ourselves in. And we allow it to be. We allow this peace that lives within us to come forward when it's needed. We allow this love and joy within us to come forward when it's needed. We allow ourselves to shine without fear, without apology, and with great joy. And I'm so grateful for this community and for the nature of love that is here. And I know we experience it as we go forward, as we always do. So giving thanks, I am so grateful. Grateful for this day and grateful for all that is yet to be. I release this prayer knowing it is so, and so it is.
So it is.
Yay.